up, everybody? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, Big Bootsie, man. This segment, man, right here is, it's a very, 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 very important one and dear to me. It's cold outside, so I came in the studio and, I had to tell Jax, man, we got to load up. It's time to suit up. I'm keeping my jacket on for this one. It's cold as ever outside. But I was riding, I was thinking, man, most people do podcasts. I never heard a lot of them say things, or should I say, uh, give a segment to their mothers. So I felt that I wanted to do one for my mother, regardless if somebody did one or not. I don't know. This is very dear to me, very serious. This is the woman that brought me into this world with her and my father. And y'all gonna see some clips flashing through. So, as I go through the story, certain clips I might have them pulled up by my producer Jax. But I wanted to give my mother her flowers while she's still here. It's been on my mind real heavy, and I didn't give a chance to give my father his flowers while he was still here, which I wasn't doing the podcast movement at the time, but we always stayed in tune with our mother and father for Christmases and birthdays and things like that. We'll go down there and make sure we're around them New Year's, and we might have missed some here and there, but we always was in tune with our parents, me and my brothers, right? So this segment is really dedicated to my mom. I want to tell my mother I love you. She's a very important piece to me in my life, in this world called chess. It's like a chess game, and the very important pieces, the most very important piece on the chess game is the queen. And that's why I want to have this segment why it's, on my heart right now to talk about her, and give her flowers and let you guys know where I come from. Because if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't be no me. If it wasn't for my father, there'd be no me as well. So I got to incorporate my father with this segment as well. So, my moms and my pops, they was young growing up. My father dropped out of school and had to take care of his grandparents, which I consider my grandparents because my grandmother, which is his mother, got killed by a drunk driver. So she held me in her arms once or maybe twice from what I heard, and I never really got to know my grandmother. At least she got to hold me in her arms. So my great grandfather, which I always considered my grandfather, they say he used to take me around with him everywhere, carry me everywhere, showing me off. And he always called me Bootsie. That's how I got the name Bootsie from my great grandfather. So it's not a street name. It's a name that comes genuinely from my bloodline, from my great grandfather, which, like I said, was considered my grandfather.
This is a picture of your grandmother right here?
No, not that one. That's
Okay.
my mother's mother.
Okay.
I'm talking about my father's side right now.
Oh, okay.
But hold that picture there.
Okay.
So he had to drop out of school to help take care of his parents. Back then, things wasn't good back in the days. And he had to pick cotton, him and his brother, his sister, my aunt Sarah, my uncle. We call him Archer T, my other uncle. we call him Fat Man, because he was heavy set, but he was a free spirit type of uncle. But so with that being said, my mother and father met. And my mom used to, from what she tell me, work her way around getting, over where my father was at, because they was liking each other, and started courting or whatever, and they would met when they was 12 years old. And from what I'm remembering, my mom went to school, graduated, and her mother, which is my grandmother, loved her to death, and my grandfather made sure that, and my mom went to school, and she got her she got her education. She graduated from high school. She got her education, and her and my father was together, and they decided to actually move to New York to start a better life. So once they moved to New York, start a better life, I'm gonna have to skip over a few things because I don't know every place that they lived at. My mom was telling me a few things. I can't remember everything, and this is a segment that I just wanted to dedicate to her and utilize my memory the best that I can, because I want to give her flowers of how she approached the situation once she started having kids and made the best for us. But I'm going to start off where I actually remember 141st between Lenox and 7th. Actually, our building number was 141 between Lenox and 7th. And, her and my father did the best they can. My mother worked at banks. She was smart. She's good with numbers. So, and her education led her to being able to get hired at those type of facilities. So, my father, he didn't really have an education. But one thing I could say about that, he stuck by my mother's side. They stuck together. Teamwork. I always watched that growing up. My mother used to take me and my brother, aunt, to work with her. And, I used to sit around and watch how things was going, office movement. And, we used to love to go there because when she bring us there, all her friends be praising me and my brother like, oh, they so cute. We always get money, $5 here, $2 here. We leave with a lot of money, a lot of candy. So, we love that actual situation. So, growing up, I actually learned a lot watching my mother maneuver her way through the banks. She was working at Chemical Bank, and then she worked at another one called Indezawez. Indezawez was a bank that sold money, in other countries and stuff like that. I don't know all the logistics to it, but that's what I know she was doing and was a part of. And like I said, she's good with numbers. So, my father, he took a lot of odd jobs to make sure that he played his part. He used to take those trucks that go and load up the candy machines back in the days. He took that job. He used to always come home and say, or have stories about how the traffic was crazy out there and how the trucks was always cutting them off. And he's like, I don't care. Cut me off. We insured. I just work here. Please hit me. I'm going to get my check regardless. And y'all going to have to pay me because it'll be a lawsuit. I act like I'm hurt crazy. Like I'm really hurt. So he used to have those stories, but he always took a little odd jobs. So 141st between Lenox and 7th, that block was really a tough block that they moved on with me and my brother Aunt. So I remember it was a shootout, a crazy shootout out there. I'm watching guys shoot at each other. That was my first time ever seeing a shootout. My mother and them hearing it, and we was outside. As a matter of fact, my father was outside on the stoop as well. Said, "Yo, come on, let's go. Let's rushing us in the building." Also in that block, it was a blackout that was going on. That was a big blackout. Y'all can Google it. New York City first big blackout that really made history. Something happened with the power. Nobody. It was dark. Imagine New York dark. Y'all can imagine New York with all the lights, right? Imagine all of New York dark. That's what happened. A lot of robberies, break-ins was going on in the stores. Mad looting was going on. Crazy. It was crazy. So, and then at the time, then my other brother was born. He was a baby at the time, like real small. As a matter of fact, Jax, you could pull that one up for them, and not that one. The one with the last one you picked up with Aaron.
Which one?
Yes, that's us.
Let me go back.
Yeah, that's us right there. When we was young, and that had to be on 141st. Well, maybe not, but y'all get the picture. Because what I'm about to say next is, when we was on 141st and my brother was born, my mother and father made a decision that they really didn't want to live in that spot no more. Which we had cousins come from down south. My cousin JP, John Patterson. They used to love him when he used to come up for the summer. He'd come up for the summer. We'll have the whole squad out there racing him. He'd take his shoes off. And they used to call him, damn, man, you take your shoes off and run? Yeah, he'd give everybody a head start. It'd be about 10 kids. And he was the oldest. We probably was like 7, 6. He probably was about 11, 12. But he'd give everybody a head start. Take off. He earned the name Bullet. They start calling him Bullet because he was fast. He'd come up, you just him coming passing everybody. And we did about 3-4 trial runs of that, and he went every time. Then we had one of our other aunts come up. My aunt Pundy, she's a reverend now. You might want to show that one, Jax, as well. She's a reverend now, but back then, yes, that's my aunt and my mom. Back then, she wasn't a reverend. She was finding her way in life, and my mom told her, come to New York, get yourself together. And see, one thing about my mom, she always is a person that's a nurturer. She want to help people, especially family. But she would even help you if you're not family. This is one of the reasons why I want to give her flowers. But my aunt came up. My aunt got herself together, did whatever she needed to do at the time. I was young, so I don't know. I just know my aunt was here. We was happy to have our aunt staying with us. And she went back down south and got her life together, and she just blossomed into the person that she is to this day.
Is she the woman in the black or the?
Yes, the one in the black.
Okay.
And the one in the white is my mother. So y'all get used to seeing my mother's face, and y'all know.
Okay.
In different pictures, but yes, that's my aunt. And then we had my cousin come up, Her name is Wanda. I don't have photos of her right as of now. I do, but I didn't have them in the collection for me to actually get them on time so we could show you guys. But it's my aunt Catherine, which passed away. That was one of my good aunts that lived in New York City, around the corner from us. And her daughter moved up and stayed with us. And you know, she always was good at management. She was managing Burger Kings and stuff like that back then. And she came up, stayed with us for a little while, and got herself together. Long story short, that's what my mom's did. And one of my friends named Reginald Earl, I used to hang out with Reginald, and I used to go to his house. And when I go to his house, his father was in there always drunk. His little brother name is Earl. Reginald was the one that made sure that they still go to school. And this was elementary school. And I used to be like, yo, what's going on? Like, your father just laying there all day and this is what y'all do? And they was like, yeah. So I used to tell them, come to my house and come hang out. So they used to come hang out. My mother started, asking questions, and I let her know exactly what was going on with them and their father. And she started, feeling bad about the situation. She actually took matters in her own hand. And, long story short, she talked with the father and ended up letting them starting to stay with us. And them going to school, make sure they had a nice warm bed to lay in, somewhere to, eat good meals every night. And she did that for a while, and then she got them into a foster care system. And they got into a foster care system, and they went and stayed over in, I want to say it was Long Island. What was that movie out of New York? It was a scary house. And
not sure.
It was a scary house, and it was a big classical movie, and they named it out of a place in New York. Anyway, they got a foster parent that lived over there, helped them out, got themselves together, and they finished school. They end up getting their own places, and they end up, living a great life. So I want to go back to 141st, because really that's when we moved up to 146th Street. Like, I skipped over when they wanted to get themselves together and they didn't want to be on 141st anymore. Excuse me. So they got themselves together. They said, we're gonna move. We're gonna move in another part of New York where we can get a better life for our kids, which was me and my brothers. And my other brother was still a baby at the time. So when we moved up, they moved to 146 to St. Nicholas Avenue. And once we moved up to 146 and St. Nicholas Avenue, that's when one of what I just named to you guys, that was one of the people that my mom's actually helped and made sure that them as young men got themselves together and made sure that they didn't go through the challenges of what they was going through with their father. So what I really want to say is, me growing up in 146 in St. Nicholas is really where the challenges really started, because my father would have his ups and downs with working. My mom's had a steady job. Everything was flowing smooth. Me and my brother, Aunt, as kids, doing the mischievous things, sneaky behind the back stuff. And my mother always made sure that we have or had the up to date stuff. When you're young, everybody want to if you ain't got what's in style, they gonna joke on you, laugh on you. Got skips, hot boxers, whatever you want to call it. And my mom made sure that we always had the right stuff by her hard working. And we sometimes couldn't get it when everybody else could get it, but she made sure we had it. So this is another reason why I want to give my mother her flowers. Because she didn't have to do that. She could have just got us anything, as long as we got something on our feet and on our back. But she wanted to make sure that what we wanted and what we asked her to get, she would always get it. So another thing I want to talk about is with my father. We didn't understand it back then, but he loved us so much that if me getting older, me knowing my father, he loved hard, very hard. If something happened to something he loved or somebody he loved, all the way down to his dog, it'll drive him crazy. So, summertime used to come around, and it's summertime now. School is over. We want to go outside and hang out and chill with your friends. My mother would go to work. Sometimes my father would be in spurts where he wasn't working, and he'll be at home making sure that me and my brothers is all right. And my father, wouldn't want us to go outside, and it's like afternoon time when everybody really is outside. We couldn't understand why. To the point where we wanted to sneak outside and while he in the room sleeping, but we would have to wait till our mom come home. When our mom come home, she'll let us go outside. She'll go in there and override that. We had to figure out later on, he was just so scared because New York was crazy back then, that if something happened to us, it'll probably drive him crazy, man. And me learning that getting older with his character, now I get it. Back then, it used to be mad, like, damn, man, why our father ain't letting us go outside? Everybody else is outside. We up in the house looking like we can't do nothing. Everybody else can do something. Like, damn. Well, our mom come home, she'll talk to him and give him a reason why. And we would go outside. My mom would let us go outside. We'll go outside when it's damn near dark. She's calling Bootsie, Anthony out the window. That's that call. Time to go. Still, some of our friends are still outside. So I'm saying that to say, a lot of things happen for a lot of reasons. Cause we could have been getting in a lot of trouble. A lot of my friends got in trouble that was able to stay outside longer. They done did federal time, big prison time, because they got a lot of leeway with their parents. We didn't with ours. But a lot of my friends is home now. I'm not saying that was all the way a bad thing, but I used to play hooky from school. I done got caught downtown on 42nd Street by truant officers. Me and two of my homeboys, Froggy and Score. Somebody tap us on the back. Police take us to the police station. My mom got to come get me from work, leave work to come get me. Mad as hell. She's mad as hell. Get home. Good old butt whooping. Good old butt whooping. And this is another thing. They act like it's shunned upon to whoop the kids. As long as you ain't whooping them to kill them. My mom told me, you know why I whoop your butt when we ain't doing them when everything is cool? I'm like, why? She said, I whoop you because I love you. I didn't understand it then. She whooping me to let me know I love you. I don't want you to get in no trouble. So if you keep getting in trouble, this is what you're going to get. So before you do anything to get in trouble, think about this is what you're gonna get. Made sense as I got older. But that still didn't ever stop me from thinking I'm slick or more smarter than her. So as I got older, I got a little older, and I still wanted to be hanging out with the Joneses and making people think that I'm that dude. I ain't gotta be in the house a certain time. If you gotta be in the house a certain time, the kids will joke on you and all that. But one thing my mom did, she made sure we was in daycare center while she went to work. A lot of people know it as the S&S Club. It used to be a daycare center that we used to go to, me and my brother. And then after school program she used to let us go to, and she used to have us pick up. Well, my youngest brother used to go to a daycare center on 145th between Amsterdam and Broadway. After we get out of school, me and my brother Aunt used to have to go there and sit there and wait for her to get off work, and she'll come and pick us up, all of us. Then we found out about a after school program where we used to can flip and do gymnastics. We used to do doing the break dance and stuff and all that. So it was called the Helping Hand Center, and that was a good program. So we ventured out in a lot of programs, and she always let us venture out into programs and do things. I was in the marching band. I played the drums. I was in parades. I did a lot of stuff. I was in the cadets, doing drill marches and things like that. So she kept us in all the right stuff. And I'm saying that to say, my mother always held it down for us to make sure we had everything we need. My mother always made sure that anybody that needed help for something, she was always there. Like recently, she went and since my father passed last year, she went with her sisters. They are twins. One of the twins is still here. The other one is in Sacramento, living a good life with her husband. And her and my mom, since my father died, went out there. And I'm saying that to say I'm happy to see my mom smiling since the love of her life passed away. They've been together since they was 12 years old, all the way up to date. And they had their ups and downs, things of that nature. I can't make nothing look like everything's sugar and cream. But at the end of the day, a lot of people is missing those type of things out here in life. As far as parents' relationship goes, is concerned. But I'm glad to see her smiling. She's with her two sisters. You got the picture of that, Jax? And they're twins. I used to go down south, and those twins used to take me everywhere with them. We used to go to community centers, and I'm thinking I'm a big dog. Yep, that's them right there. I'm thinking I'm a big dog doing something with my older aunts, and they showed me the ropes. But, my mom always made sure we was grounded and we was around family. My Aunt Pig, they call her Aunt Pig. All my cousins over there in Brooklyn. We used to be in Brooklyn a lot. And the point of what I'm saying to you guys is a good mother keep you around family. A good mother make sure that she teach you what's right from wrong. A good mother keep a household over your head. however she have to do it. And I don't mean being out in the street doing no wrong stuff, wrong things. Meaning taking odd jobs here and there. But my mom never had to because she got an education, thank God. God blessed her with that. So, but for other mothers that's out there, it's just an example for you guys. You don't have to take a crazy route. Take odd jobs. If you got 2, 3, you need to take 2 or 3 of them to make sure your kids is all right. So my mother made sure that we was always all right. Now what I can say is, when I got a certain age, I'm thinking I'm doing something. I'm 16 years old. That's when the start being rebellious coming in. And I'm thinking I'm grown. She's saying be in a certain time. Now, 10 o'clock, that's too early in New York. At our age bracket. Where our mental was at. So, I wanna buck against her word, my father's word. Mind you, I know we done got plenty butt whoopings. Nothing to play with. And I'm only making that clear because the way society is set up today, they make it look like when you get a whooping from parents, that's they want to lock you up. That's child abuse and all. It's not child abuse. It's teaching the kids. I know it's teaching the kids to do the right thing. I know a lot of kids that I grew up with that got whoopings. And they are great grown-ups to this day. They have morals. They ain't out here killing when they was growing up. They're not doing all the wrong things. The ones that don't get whoopings are the one that's killing and doing all the wrong things. But to get back to what I was saying, I was 16. I'm thinking I'm grown. She used to tell me, if you ain't in this house by 10 o'clock, she went and bought an extra. It's a thing you could buy a box. And you can take it and chain it. If that door opens, it's going to make a loud noise. If she have to put that on, you can't get in that house. If she have to put that on, that means she's going to know when it's time for you to come in. And she'll stand there at the door. What you want? Why you ain't here? And you got to convince her to open that door. Because now she's training me to be a man and be a respectful man. And learn how to follow orders, follow protocol, follow authority. Because she is my authority. That's my boss. That's my big boss, her and my father, right? So now I'm getting chances. Now my chances, they ran out. It came to a time when I still thinking I'm slick and disobeying her rules. I didn't even have to open the door. When I wasn't there, my bed was in the hallway. My bed was in the hallway. So you want to sleep in that bed. Then it got to a point, the bed ain't in the hallway, you just ain't getting in the house. Me, I was, at the time, my daughter's mother at the time, we didn't have a child then. We was cool. Her mom used to go to work, and a few of my friends, we always used to just hang out at her house playing hooky from school. And she used to let us play hooky from school because her mom go to work, and her mom worked real hard. And eventually, me and her end up, having sex and things of that nature, and my daughter was born. My first daughter. And when I had my first daughter, I didn't have no job. I was out there in the streets trying to be slick behind my mother's back, hustling, selling drugs. My mother didn't know nothing about it. My mother didn't condone none of that stuff, and I know that. And I know where I come from, my family don't condone selling no drugs. That was never in our nature, ever. My family worked. My father works from childhood. And so, me, I'm thinking I'm slick, whatever. And now when I get cool with my oldest daughter's mother at the time, with her mother, took a liking to me, and she didn't know that my mom was putting me out the house. I never would tell her that, but when my mom tell me I can't get in, it's after 10, go sleep where you was hanging out at. I would laugh thinking I'm doing something slick, and I would go up to my daughter's mother's house. So me, so to get back to my daughter, long story short, my daughter, she ended up getting pregnant. My daughter was born, and ended up becoming the love of my mother and father's. That was their world. Boy, as y'all see, you see how my father got her on the back of him. They did not play about her. If it takes too long that they haven't seen her, they're gonna ask me, "What's going on? I need to go and get her." It got to the point where I didn't even have to tell them to go get her no more. They had it locked in with my daughter's mother to actually come and pick her up whenever they want to, which she never had a problem with that. And I used to just be standing on the corner, and I see them coming down the hill holding my baby hands, both of them. My mother on one side, my father on the other side, walking down the hill with her, or my father got her in his arms walking down the hill till they go upstairs. And I used to love to see that. I used to love that. And me growing up around that time, me knowing that my father and my mother always took care of us, that's what made me who I am. That's what made me a man, to know that you take care of your kids. And I just used to love it. I used to go upstairs, and she in the bed with my mother and my father, and they be sleep. She sleep, I'll grab her and pick her up and take her in the room with me. All the time. All the time. But she it was good to know that I got a mother and father that was supportive. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. The reason why is because, like I said, I didn't have no money like that at the time. I was still trying to figure out a way to get some money. I was out there in the streets hustling, doing little simple, stupid stuff. And then, when the dry spells kick in, when I don't know how to find a way to make some money, now I'm stuck. And I got a kid on the way. I got a kid that's here. So, it's pamper time. It's milk time. I don't know about the WIC thing back then. I think, yeah, the WIC thing, you could sign up for it then, but Pampers was the most important thing on me and my daughter's mother list. And if I didn't have it like that, guess who took care of getting those Pampers? My mother held me down. And as she was getting those Pampers, it gave me time to get myself together. And I actually took on a job with my uncle. His name is Bill. Uncle Bill got me a job downtown. I think it's the Spears building, somewhere downtown. You can see it off the highway in New York, off the West Side Highway. How long did that last? I probably was there about 7-8 days. They was in there working them boys like slaves. There was a lot of Africans, Jamaicans in there, and you had to load up crazy boxes, and they want you to do it at that time. And me, I was kind of known. I was already getting a little couple dollars of some money. My mental is, I'm not breaking my back. And one of the superiors told me, yo, you really not, you hardly working. Like, I'm getting ready to have to talk to your uncle about you, or we getting ready to have to let you go. Me being the cocky young guy, I told him, you know what? Matter of fact, I quit. You can tell my uncle that, and I left. Which that might have put my uncle in jeopardy for just not in jeopardy, but make him look bad. I wasn't even thinking of it in that nature, but I left, get back into the streets, running the streets, going, doing things crazy. So I gets into trouble. My brother Ant gets into an altercation with a Spanish guy, and I think they tried to jump my brother or something or whatever. I finds out about it. He tells me about it. And I'm like, oh, no, he know where the guys live at. So my friend's name is Bo D. And big shout out to Bo D. Him and my mom's was cool. God bless his moms. She not here. And he's doing real, real excellent for himself. He was a bad boy too, which turned out to be a great person. And he got a flamboyant hair. He does all that stuff up in New York. And he does a lot of cookouts and giveaways to the community. He doing all that good stuff. And he done been to prison. He done shot people before, all that stuff. Wilding out. He was a wild boy. And, it was just some old stuff, so I could say it. It's nothing that can incriminate him or nothing. He changed his life around completely. But me and him and my brother Ant was taking me to the dude, showing me who the dude is, and who was trying to, jump my brother. I see who the guy is, and I asked him what was the problem with my brother, and he act like he was talking crazy, sitting on his stoop on 145th of St. Nicholas, and I pull out a gun, and I didn't want to shoot him. I end up smacking him across his head a few times with it, and I don't really want to say the real word, which I will. Pistol whipped him, because this is a segment to my mother, but she understands, and I want this to really be wholehearted, really felt. That's why I'm giving you all the details, and I'm not saying that to make me look good, but this is the key to it. So after I did that, we leave, whatever. We ain't thinking nothing of it no more. A few days go by, we out hanging out. We was about to go play basketball. Everybody bragging, talking about what they gonna do. Everybody got their sneakers. We standing on the corner. Police roll up, jump out. We like, what they jumping out? We done forgot about that incident. The guy was in the back. I didn't see him in the back at first. They grabbed me. He pointed out who was who, because that was our corner that we all stand on by Blimpies. And he jump out. They cuff me. They cuff Bo D. They cuff my brother Ant. Take us downtown. And this is my first time ever being in handcuffs in my life. All three of us, actually. They take them to juvenile. They take me downtown to Central Booking. At the Central Booking, I go to court. Couple days down in New York, you don't just go in there and get bailed out. It take a couple days till they get to you before you see a judge. Couple days go by, I see a judge. They tell me $1,500 bail. I'm remanded. They don't let me go. I go to Rikers Island for my first time. And Rikers Island then is not where you want to be at. If you're not a brawler, fighter, cutter, stabber, you don't want to go there. $1,500. My mother and my father, but my mother at the time was going frantic. Where my brother was at was really, they had the pool in there, they could swim, they could chill, all that. $1,500 for him though. She got him. $1,500 for me. She got me out of jail. And this is a good point for all you guys that love your moms, the things that we put them through. She had to spend $3,000 of her hard-earned money for the stupidity that we do outside. That money could have went to something else. We was happy to be out. Did I pay my mother back when I got out? I'm back out doing the same young boy stupidity. No. I didn't pay her back. Did I think about paying it back? No. I'm thinking that's just something she's supposed to do. That's crazy. That's ignorant. But she wasn't going to let me sit in that jail. That was something new to us. We didn't know nothing about that. So I'm back out there in the streets doing crazy stuff. I'm doing still a bunch of crazy stuff. And now my mother is catching on to the bull crap because she always had mama's intuition. I'm thinking I'm slick, hiding drugs in the house, making her think I'm outside being a good boy, just chilling with my friends. I'm outside in the building, hustling, selling drugs. Come upstairs. She done found it. She said, "What is this?" I'm looking stupid in the face. Something just told me to clean out your room, because she always make us clean our room anyway. But she always used to just go and do, drill sergeant stuff and make sure the room's is clean. So, but it's always that mother intuition to find drugs. She found drugs. I'm skipping over a few things. More than one time. I used to have my friends come in and tell them I was holding it for them. $5,000-$10,000 worth of drugs. I'm telling her, man, if you throw it away, mama being a lot of beef in the street. Well, tell them to come talk to me. I have to make my friend lie and say it was his and look sympathetic. That was the only way that got back. Then I'm still thinking things are sweet. Same routine. She finds something again. This one particular time, she flushed it. $4,000 worth of drugs down the drain. She didn't care if I was going to be in beef, nothing, because she told me already. She just started catching on to my bull crap. My father, he just laid back. He in the crib. He chilling, being a dad. Moms, you know how the mothers is. They on them boys. They on us like a cheap mink. They not playing. And meaning the mothers that's really in tune with their sons and really care. But that's the type of mother I had. Nothing to play with. But will be there for you if you're doing the right thing. Always made sure that we had. Always made sure a roof was over our head. It was a time when my brother had something wrong with him. And the doctors kept saying, nah, you're going to be all right. Nah. Mother's intuition kicked in again. My brother Aunt. She made them go to take him. She said, no, we're going to go to another whole city and find out what's wrong with him. And rest assured something wasn't right. I ain't gonna get into too much detail about it, but something wasn't right. And if she didn't catch it, my brother probably wouldn't be here to this day. And she caught it. And my brother's here strong, living good, doing this thing. Very proud of him. That's the type of mother that we got. And it's so many things that I could say about her being a strong woman, because she always held down all of our kids for us. Our kids was her kids. Anybody that had a problem and she could help solve it, she always helped solve it to the best of her ability. She put people before she put herself in certain circumstances. And it ain't because she was looking for nothing. She's a very spiritual person. And I know that for a fact because I done had bullets flown by my head more than one time. But I know I had a mother that's praying for me. I was facing 60 years in Maryland. She was there for me. Had to travel from New York, her and my father. And my middle daughter, her mother, actually, we was together at the time. She came with them too. I took it to trial. So they brought her, with them. But she was there all the way from a whole nother state because I was selling drugs. I wanted to do something to help a friend, which I shouldn't have never even left to go to New York to get more drugs when I had drugs already out there. And I should have been waiting to collect that money before I went and did another move. But I wanted to make sure I help this guy out. While I wait for that, I might as well go ahead and do that, come back and collect that. I think it made sense to me. I go up there, come back, get pulled over, railroaded. Police illegally searched everything, but sometimes that's God slowing you down in your tracks, that you're speeding. But I have a praying mother because I was facing 60 years. And that praying mother is really, really powerful, whether y'all know it or not. And I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to this with praying mothers, with incidents y'all probably went through and wonder how y'all overcame it. But I was facing 60 years and went to trial. My mother even came to visit me after the trial was over. I took a judge trial instead of a jury trial because the police pulled us over illegally. Legal search, made the guy sign a search and seizure warrant for the car, and the car wasn't in his name, so that's against the law. I did law library, so I know the law backwards when it came to that. Anyway, and my mom said she seen it in that judge's eyes. His name was Judge Simpson. Never gonna forget about it. I'm actually doing a movie about it. I'm gonna have that script written, but I need it done properly because everything is in the archives. It's documented with police getting killed by other people they pulled over illegally. They pulled over a lawyer illegally and didn't know he was a lawyer. He told them, no, you can't search. They yoked him up, still cuffed him and searched, didn't know he was a lawyer, and he didn't do nothing wrong. Black and Spanish they was pulling over. But my mother got there and told me, she said, I looked in that judge's eyes. He was just waiting for the procedures just to go through. I knew he was going to find y'all guilty anyway. Found us guilty. Had to wait to go and get my time. Me, I told my mother, don't worry about coming down to see me get the time. I'll just tell her how much time I got. We'll worry about visits later on during my prison stay. So eventually I got 5 years, which I was facing 60. That's a praying mother for y'all. Or for me. So the moral of this story and the reason for this story is I want to give my mother her flowers while she is still here rolling. She's actually been having fun. You can show some clips and just let them roll through of her just, having fun, enjoying life. My father, that's my grandmother right there. That's my mother's mother. That's my bloodline, where I come from. That's my mother, my father. That's my mother and my father having fun. That's my father after he passed away, giving him his wings. And that's my mom smiling. That's how I like to see my queen. And that's her going to Sacramento to see my aunt. And that's my mother the first time on the plane. She was scared, but she made it happen. And she enjoyed it. That's her over there in Cali. I think she went to LA after that. You know, seen that earlier, her and my auntie. That's my mom's and pops in their younger years. And that's my mom's again. My mom's and pops in their younger years. I don't know where that one was at. Her with her twin sisters. That's me and her. When I was thinking I was slick, she ain't asked me how I bought that chain. That's me, her, and my pops in the yard. That's me and my brothers. That's the house that they bought, and that's the house that they raised my daughter in, which is right there, my oldest daughter. They raised her in there. And let me give y'all a story about that real quick. When I came home from prison, my oldest daughter, she was 5 years old at the time. And I used to, I had my parole sent from Maryland to North Carolina because my mother and them moved back from New York while I was in prison. And I used to go to New York. Every Monday I was in New York. Every Monday. Leave in New York Monday, up there, running around, seeing my peoples, break back out, back in North Carolina. So just see my daughters and make sure that they was good. That was my most main priority, to make sure my daughters were good all the time. Birthdays, Christmases, back to school, all the time for years, because that's what I know that my parents taught me. So my kids was never going to want for nothing. And that's how I did that. And I made sure that that happened. But my daughter was always like close to me, always, right? So when I go to New York, hanging out with her, having fun, chilling, I'm like, all right, I'll be back next week. She never really wanted me to leave and stuff like that, but I was in North Carolina at the time. So when I leave this particular time, my daughter's mother, her mother calls me the next day. I'm just waking up because I just got back on the road. We drive back and forth to New York from North Carolina. But she was like, yo, she said, your daughter said she want to move down there with you. I said, huh? She said, yeah. She don't like when you be leaving. She want to move down there with you. I said, you cool with that? She said, yeah, you been gone. Doing, a couple years out of life, and I'm cool with it. I'm like, all right, cool. Matter of fact, tell her I'll be there to come get her tomorrow, pack her stuff. I got back on the road later on that evening. Got to New York. I tell my moms, I'm going to go and get my daughter and bring her back. My mom's is happy and excited. Like, what? Like I told y'all earlier, they did not play about her at all. You would think that that was their daughter, and which it is. That's my blessing to them, which is my daughter, which is my baby. So, but her and my father did not play about her. So I tell my mom about it, and she was happy. And I leave that same night as I got back. I got back that day, slept good, got back on the road, went to New York, went and got my daughter, brought my baby back to that house that y'all just seen, which raised my daughter in that very house right there. So, you know, with that being said, I'm a very lucky person. With that being said, um, I want to give my mother her flowers while she's here. I didn't get a chance to give my father his flowers while he was here, but I'm gonna give him his flowers still, also, because he was there from the start all the way to his end. So he deserved credit where credit is due as well. He always wanted to see us be successful, me and my brothers. I did a lot of things in the industry that's monumental. A lot of history is made that I have done. I was glad to be able to do that before he passed. But I had a lot of other bigger things that's on the menu, that still is on the menu, that's happening in real time right now. That's actually about to fully take off. So I'm gonna do this for my father, and I'm gonna do this while my mother is still here. With all the many years that she got left to be here, it's really getting ready to go down. I'm gonna make her proud, and I'm proud to say I love you, Mom. Many things and greater things is gonna happen. A lot of other big trips is on the way. So you might as well go and get ready, even though you don't like leaving out of your comfort zone. You act like you never lived in the big city. You don't even want to be in the little Raleigh town because of the cars. But we got bigger things to do. So I just wanted to take this time out to tell my mother I love you, and I want to give you your flowers because you deserve it. You're a person that helped a lot of people. That's where, we get our hearts from, our big hearts from helping people. And more to come. More things for me to do to make you proud and make you smile. And I'm gonna show you better than I tell you. So be ready. Love you, Mom.